right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're now going to talk about Juan Soto and some of the recent news regarding him and whether or not he's going to get traded. So obviously, he's not a free agent, but he's one of the bigger names out there that is being talked about because with the Padres and their money troubles. They're not going to be able to afford him. So, he's probably, either he sticks around for one more year or, they trade him, get a lot of assets, and they go from there. So, obviously, the Padres, they acquired him at the 2022 trade deadline from the Nationals. He's a World Series champ with the Nationals back in 2019. They got to, it makes sense they probably trade him before the season. You get assets for him because it's unlikely that they're going to, retain him. So Soto ranks among the best in OPS plus through age 24 in the post-war era. So that that just shows you like how great of a hitter that he is. And they also talk about, similar trades, regarding good young players. They were in the article I was looking at. They were comparing it to, with players with 1 year left on their contract. They compared it to Jason Hayward, being traded to the Cardinals in 2015, Mookie Betts being traded to the Dodgers in 2020, and then Francisco Lindor traded to the Mets in 2021. So, and Jason Hayward used to be, really good with the Braves. Mookie Betts, obviously one of the best players in baseball. Francisco Lindor, has been, he's been good for the Mets. He was definitely put together a good season in 2023. So also they talk about the potential fits for Soto. They list the Mets, they list the Cubs, the Giants, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees. Again, I feel bad for the Giants. Well, not too bad, but somewhat, because it's just they're in on all these big name players and they get none of them. They get no players. Last year, Aaron Judge, Carlos Correa, they get none of them. They're supposedly in on Bellinger. You would think they're in on Ohtani. But they might end up with nothing again. So, but yeah, they were talking about. I saw that, the Yankees and the Padres are kind of like exchanging names on, what a potential deal would be. And there seems to be a little bit of a holdup. It seems like the Yankees are reluctant to trade one of their prospects. I think it was Drew Thorpe. Listen, I get it. It's not, you might not have Soto after 2024. He might go somewhere else because his intention is I'm going to test free agency regardless. So, the Yankees might just have him for 1 year and then that's it. But for me, you still do whatever you can to get him. Because the Yankees were not a good offensive team last year. They weren't. And they lacked left-handed bats, which is something that fans like myself have been screaming for the past several years. Where are the left-handed hitters? And he would solve a lot of their problems. They need outfielders. He's somebody that would be our starting left fielder next year. That is someone that you need to go out and get. Do whatever it means necessary. Trade your prospects. Do it. Because, if the Yankees get a championship out of it and then Soto walks, it's at least worth it that you at least did it. But it's gonna be tough. The Yankees, they have the assets to do it. They just got to, go out and do it. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out as well. Of course, and these other teams. They could maybe get him too. The Mets, I think, are reluctant to trade their prospects to get Soto, but it's Juan Soto. He would solve a lot of the Mets' problems. You get rid of Vogelbach and Guillorme and you replace him with Soto. You kind of go out. You kind of have to do that. And the Mets have the ability to do that because they now have Steve Cohen. You know, like they could trade for him and sign him. Well, that's just from the money perspective. I mean, do the Mets have the the assets to get him in the minor leagues? It seems like the Yankees do. It's just the Yankees might be reluctant to trade as well. But I mean, for me, I don't want to sit here and say the Yankees are going to get him. Right now, they look like the top. I mean, everyone keeps saying, well, they're the top, suitor for Soto, and it's like, okay, but are they going to actually go out and get him? It seems like it's trending more towards he will be traded as opposed to he won't be traded. So, and I think that's, again, it's better for the Padres to do that because they're not gonna. It doesn't seem like they're gonna be able to retain him. So get as much as you can out of him, and go from there. I mean, because even if you trade Soto, you still got Machado, you still got Tatis, you still got Bogarts for, because he signed a big contract as well. But, they are going to be losing some guys. I mean, they lost Blake. They're going to lose Blake Snell. They're going to lose Josh Hader. We're waiting to see where those guys go. So, yeah, I mean, the Padres, they're coming off of a disappointing season. I mean, they went 82-80, same record as the Yankees. But, yeah, I mean, the Padres, they need pitching. So, and the Yankees seem like they, are going to try to get this done. And hopefully it does happen because it would be nice. Like, for me, I want that. Now, I know a lot of people don't want that because they don't want the Yankees to be good because the Yankees are not a particularly liked team. And that also comes with, the fan base as well, which I understand. I get it. I mean, like I was talking about in the first, segment, how I guess Yankee fans were making fun of Met fans over them getting Severino. I mean, what are we doing? I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting how that because where does that fit in with all the free agent madness? Let me ask you guys this: what is gonna? I'll probably do a short on this actually, but what happens first? Juan Soto getting traded or Shohei Ohtani signing with a new team? Which do you think happens first? Because those are probably those are the two biggest names that could be on new teams next year. And obviously we just talked about Yamamoto. I haven't really talked about Bellinger. Bellinger's interesting because, Bellinger, he had a great year last year, but someone could sign him to a big contract and he could be a real disappointment. And, if Soto gets traded to another team and Bellinger doesn't get signed yet, is that what the Yankees pivot to? Because Bellinger could play multiple positions. He could play center field. He could play first base. Left-handed bat. I mean, the Yankees saw up close what he could do. I mean, he hit that monster home run when they played the Cubs, during the season. So I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to, how. I mean, what ends up happening with Soto is going to dictate, what the Yankees end up doing. Because I mean, again, like I said before, we could end up with Manuel Margot and Kevin Kiermaier. You end up with Mark Meyer instead of Yamamoto or. Yeah. So I don't know. It's again, just gotta wait and see. What happens. All the big free agents, other than Sonny Gray, are not signed yet. Soto, it's looking more and more like he is going to get traded. So again, I mean. We'll see, but I just want something big to happen so we can talk about it. Because right now this whole show really is just speculation. Well, this team could be in on him. This team could be in on him. It's you don't know. You really have no idea. But I said this. Look, it's going to be tough in the offseason because there's going to be some points where it's like, what do we even talk about other than speculation? And that's really what all this is. Because you don't know how real all this is. I mean, John Heyman's saying, yeah, the Yankees, they got a great chance to get Soto and Yamamoto. But is that going to happen? I don't know. I mean, believe me, I'd be doing cartwheels well, not really. But I mean, I would be over the moon if they were able to pull it off. But you got other teams that you're going to be competing with to try to get these players. So, but it seems that way more with Yamamoto. With Soto, it doesn't. It seems like the Yankees. It's the Yankees, and then it doesn't seem like there's really like another team that has emerged yet. At least what's being reported. Because right now, when you see Soto, all you're seeing is, well, the Yankees are progressive, or and Padres are engaging in trade talks. They're trading names as to who could be in the deal, but you're not really. You're not seeing any other teams that really like. Yeah, I listed the teams from what I saw online of who else is in on Soto, but I mean from what's being reported, you're really only seeing like the Yankees. But even with that, I mean I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh well, slam dunk, we're going to get him. Like I was very confident. I should say very. I was confident that the Yankees were going to bring back Aaron Judge last year because that's a guy that the Yankees had on their team. Came through the system, just won MVP, 62 home runs. I just really did not see a world in which the Yankees did not retain Aaron Judge. And for a brief moment, that was the case because, John Heyman tweeted that Arson Judge is going to San Francisco. But we all were like, oh, well, that's a typo. Aaron Judge is a Giant now. And that was not the case. That was not the case. Judge ended up staying a Yankee. I ended up being right. And I was happy about it because my friends were like, there's no chance he re-signs with the Yankees. And I'm like, I think he's re-signing with them. And he did. But now, this offseason is completely different because they're trying to trade for Soto. They're trying to, sign Yamamoto. But you got more teams competing to get Yamamoto than you do with Soto. So you get Soto, and you go from there. Because I think Soto is right now the bigger need. Because he would solve a lot of their issues, man. Lefty bat, Yankee Stadium. People are always complaining about it. That short porch, but we got guys that, are all right-handed. That, yes, can go the opposite way, but we would like to have left-handed bats. I've been saying that for a long time, as well as other Yankee fans. Get it done. Get it done. But that's basically it for the show today. Let me know what you guys think about all the things that I talked about. Again, I mean, this was more just like speculation. Obviously, we haven't done a show in a couple of weeks, again, because we were off. So, there's hopefully by next week, the ball starts rolling. We start seeing more guys getting signed. Some big free agents. Maybe we get the Soto trade. Because, again, it looks like it's going to happen. It's just a matter of who is getting him. And obviously when that all, unfolds, we'll, of course, cover it. As we, get to the winter meetings and see if anything major happens. But, yeah. Another show down. Obviously, with this show, every Friday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Half hour after the GSMC football podcast. Another day of streaming down. And, we'll see what the weekend brings. Like I said on the football podcast, got big college football matchups this weekend and tonight. Also got another big week in the NFL. NFC Championship game rematch. And then, we'll see, Yamamoto gets signed maybe. Ohtani. Does Soto get traded? Just got to wait and see. But other than that, I hope everybody enjoys the weekend. I'm going to try my best to do that as well. And I'll see everybody on Monday. GSMC football podcast, of course, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, every Monday through Friday. So, that is all the time that we have for today. So, again, thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm your host, Kenneth Gruenfelder, signing off once again from the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. have a good day. Have a good weekend. Enjoy all the games this weekend. Hopefully, free agents sign with teams so we can talk about it. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.